I'm here at the scene of the crime spree, right behind me.
Strange. Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Rickard, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson, with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He
that.
was served a federal subpoena this morning.
Did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena. And
most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
The fit has hit the shan. Are we on? All right, the fit has hit the shan, or at least some of it has already today with a surprise announcement. Yeah, that's what it said. With a surprise announcement today. And the big announcement is Superintendent of Schools, Bill Husfelt, who's been there for a long time, since 2008, and has had a storied career as the superintendent, either beloved or despised. He's one of the two D words. I like Bill Husfelt, but it's time for change. It's time for change, and his name has come up in the FBI investigations, and I think he's worried, and I think there's a lot of people who need to be worried. But, you know, maybe the protection continues. Don't know, but there's a lot going on. The timing is interesting because we fully expect this week for the big ruling to come out from Judge Mark Walker in the Lynn Haven corruption case, where he is set to, if he decides to, issue sanctions regarding vindictive prosecution against Margo Anderson and James Finch. That should come out anytime. We're all sitting on pins and needles, and it's got people on edge. Let's just say when the phone rings, people are jumping right about now. It is tense. All right. It is very, very tense all over Bay County. And remember, just a week ago, January 23rd, Judge Mark Walker granted the request by the defendants, the Lynn Haven defendants, Margo Anderson and James Finch, granted their request to unseal a motion and exhibits that were shown in the evidentiary hearing December 12 and 13, to include the vulgar and vindictive text messages. I believe it includes 302s, which are the FBI investigation notes, the Bay County Sheriff reports, pleadings, the transcript, all kinds of stuff. You see a lot of people right now saying that was under seal, that shouldn't have been shown. It's a moot point. Look, there are a lot of people who are not at the evidentiary hearing who are confused. They're either confused or they're trying to confuse you, but all of the gnashing of teeth and kicking and screaming are not going to stop the press and the people from seeing a lot of things that are going to be shocking. But, you know, it all depends on what's done about it. I don't know. I mean, I've learned that the people of Bay County have what's the word I'm thinking of? A high tolerance level of public corruption. But, there's a lot of things happening in Lynn Haven, by the way. Commissioner Judy Tinder tendered her resignation today. She resigned. Said, I'm out. No longer sitting in that seat with all this stuff going on. She just resigned. I'm not sitting in that seat anymore, she said. I'm sitting in that other seat, the one in the middle. What? Holy shnikes. Judy Tinder is running for mayor. Jesse Nelson versus Judy Tinder. Now there's a serious race and more open seats. Wow. Let's just say the makeup of the Lynn Haven City Commission could be very, very different very, very soon. But why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look? Why don't we take a look at WMBB's reporting on this? All I have is to share with you what most of you already know. Maybe look at your comments, maybe answer some questions if I know the answers. Look ahead and see what it all might mean. I'll tell you what I do understand is that Bill Husfelt announced his early retirement effective July 31st, which means that Governor DeSantis will appoint somebody to replace him, and Governor DeSantis appoints who the local establishment wants. And so that's all worked out, with the local establishment. So I don't know who that is. It took me by surprise. Both of these took me by surprise. The Shadow did not know. The Shadow was taken unaware today. I was surprised. And I will offer some speculation. You say, Bernie, that's all you ever do is speculate. We just want the facts. I mean, I'll throw some things out that I could see happening over the course of the week. I think some things are going to happen over the course of the week. I think Friday could be a really big day. And I'll tell you why. Because with all of this going on, and especially with the soon to be released stuff from the evidence and all that stuff I just told you about from the Lynn Haven case. And there's a lot of confusion, and I really don't feel like hashing it all out, but because again, it's a moot point. It's all I think it's all going to be available pretty soon. And the trial is now in 28 days. February 27 is when the Lynn Haven trial starts. If there, as Judge Walker said, assuming there is a trial. But knowing that you've got a lot of explosive stuff could be unsealed and released. And number two, Judge Mark Walker could issue sanctions against the prosecutors and the investigators, up to and including dismissing the entire thing, what's left of it, two counts against Margot Henderson. That's all that's left of it, and 3 counts against James Finch, and they're weak. So if the judge doesn't dismiss the whole thing, and I don't know. I don't think he will, but I don't know. I also don't think he'll do nothing. I think that he'll issue some sanctions, but those sanctions could be, for example, he could say, okay, we're not going to allow testimony or evidence by the FBI agent or by the Bay County Sheriff's Office head of their public trust unit, Major Jimmy Stanford. Maybe what they brought to the table won't be allowed, or maybe, who knows? But if that stuff's not allowed, then how strong is the prosecutor's case in front of a jury? Who knows? But because all of this stuff is coming out, because there's a lot of really explosive stuff coming out that will probably deliver a black eye to those who promised us that they were going to clean up public corruption, it is my guess and speculation. It is my guess and speculation that they might try to knock it off the front page by issuing a new indictment, maybe against other folks. I wouldn't be surprised if they kicked off something big right about that same time. It wouldn't surprise me. But again, that's just speculation. I'm going to show you the stories that came out today right after this.
When your life is on the line, hire the lawyer who lives in our community, works in our community, and worships in our community. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. You want to see something funny? I'll show you something funny. It just cracks me up, is all. Let's take a look at the WMBB report. That Superintendent Bill Husfelt has announced his early retirement. What cracks me up, see if you can guess. Watch this. It's
announcement today from Bay County Superintendent.
the look on
Schools.
Tom Lewis's face.
Is retired.
Okay. Let me see if I can put this back. Tom Lewis's face is cracking me up. Amy looks great. Look at Amy. All right, back to
A year before his term expires.
And today from Bay County Superintendent of Schools.
Bill Husfelt is retiring a year before his term expires. As News 13's Courtney Evans tells us, after 40 years in the local district, Husfelt says his reasons are personal.
Superintendent Bill Husfelt says he will step down on July 31st. He declined to do an interview, sending his announcement through email. He said he decided to retire for no other reason than he felt it was time, and he wanted to spend more time with his family. Husfelt was first elected superintendent in 2008. He had previously served as an educator and administrator at the local school system. 2 years into his first term as superintendent, he found himself in the middle of a national story. In December of 2010, he and the other board members were held hostage by a man named Clay Duke. Duke walked into a school board meeting with a gun. Husfelt famously tried to defuse the situation by telling Duke, who was angry about his wife being terminated by the school district, to let the other board members go and just keep him as a hostage.
I don't remember and I don't know who she is, but let them go. I'm the one that did it.
Instead, Duke fired on the board. Miraculously, no one was hurt. The gunman was eventually shot by Security Chief Mike Jones, and then Duke took his own life. After the event, Husfelt said he believed that without a doubt, God intervened that day, saving his life and the lives of the board members.
When you stop and think of all the shots that were in here and that none of us were harmed, it's a miracle. People can say what they want, but I mean, I know I'm part of a real life miracle that I can point to.
Husfelt was reelected in 2012 and again in 2016. The support from voters has been unprecedented. Only a few Bay District superintendents have served more than one term. In 2018, Husfelt found himself leading the district after Hurricane Michael devastated Bay County. The Category 5 storm did hundreds of millions of dollars in damage to school buildings. Husfelt worked with state and federal authorities to do more to help the district and criticize the federal response.
Think about your worst insurance experience, multiply it by 100 times, and you might be where we are with FEMA right now.
He went on to advocate for more resources for mental health for Bay District students. That help was especially necessary during and after the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. In more recent years, Husfelt fought for a half-cent sales tax proposal that he said would go to raising teachers' salaries. The measure was defeated by the voters. Husfelt says serving as superintendent has been a privilege and an honor. And now he looks forward to giving back to his family and being a full-time hands-on grandfather. In Panama City, Courtney Evans, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to appoint someone to fill the remainder of Husfelt's term. The office will be up for election in the fall of 2024.
All right. Did you see that unbelievable part of that story where Clay Duke shot at the at the school board and at Husfelt. It was, and he's right. Bill Husfelt's right. That was a miracle. Do you know what stopped that 9mm? It looked like it hit him, and it was even closer than the video made it appear. But here's what stopped the bullet. It was a binder that stopped the bullet. But how does a binder, and it was one of those 3-ring binders, how does a binder stop a 9mm? It actually hit like this. It hit here, and it split the paper. It split the paper and got stuck, wedged in the paper. I remember I was on the radio when that happened, and we had him on the show, and Mike Jones on the show, who shot the gunman and stopped it. And it was an unbelievable story. I've seen the binder, and anyway, it's just an incredible story. And you all remember what happened, after that, all that stuff. But so big news today, right? Big news today. But and so Governor DeSantis will appoint somebody to replace him, and he'll take the advice of the big shots here in town. So they've got that worked out. But what about the other story? This one just throws a wrench into the machine, doesn't it? In Lynn Haven, Judy Tinder, Commissioner Tinder, tenders her resignation and then says, "Oh, by the way, I think I'll run for mayor." So it's going to be Judy Tinder versus Jesse Nelson for mayor of Lynn Haven. That's a race, right? The race is on now. But WMBB also did a story about that, and I want to share this one with you as well. What do you think? Should I thank my sponsors first or not? Let's do it. Can we do it? And then I'll show you this one. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at PCAirRepair.com.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
There's a lot of excitement about what Judy Tinder has done today with these surprise announcements. I'll tell you what Bill Husfelt and he ought to do. He ought to send a thank you note to Judy Tinder for taking some of the attention away, because this is what the local establishment is really worried about here. Oh boy. All right, let's get to this.
City Commissioner Judy Tinder has resigned her city commission seat so she can run for the Lynn Haven mayor's job. Tinder said she made her decision after an outpouring of encouragement from community members. As News 13's Alex Schley tells us, Tinder says she will bring a voice back to the people of Lynn Haven.
I just think that we need to give City Hall back to the people. That's just bottom line. And I know that sounds simple, but it's important.
Former City Commissioner Judy Tinder announced she will give City Hall back to the people by becoming the next mayor of Lynn Haven.
If I'm elected, I will be a different kind of mayor than what we have now, and even a different kind of mayor than maybe what we've had in the past. But I will be me. I will be honest.
Tinder was reelected to her second commission term in 2021. She had a little more than 2 years left to serve.
By resigning today, my commission seat will be up for reelection at this next election. And that only seems fair, that the people and the residents have somebody to vote into that spot.
Tinder's resignation becomes official.
Is it my imagination? And I don't know who the reporter is. Okay. And I'm not trying to be too critical. I'm not. But is it my imagination, or is even the reporter reading this with an annoyed voice? Honestly, I'm going to go back just a little bit. I know that Huey Lewis in the news, Tom Lewis, Huey Lewis in the news, the news director, I know whenever he does a report on this, he cannot contain the contempt in his voice, but this almost sounds I mean, it almost sounds snarky, and I could be being petty. I'm probably wrong here, but just listen to this.
Official Tuesday at midnight.
Be what we've had in the past. But I will be me. I will be honest.
Tinder was reelected to her second commission term in 2021. She had a little more than 2 years left to serve.
By resigning today, my commission seat will be up for reelection at this next election. And that only seems fair, that the people and the residents have somebody to vote into that spot.
Tinder's resignation becomes official Tuesday at midnight. She plans to file the paperwork for her mayor's candidacy on Wednesday.
I am going to file my paperwork tomorrow to run for mayor of Lynn Haven. It's fair. That the people and the residents have somebody to vote into that spot.
Tinder's resignation becomes official Tuesday at midnight. She plans to file the paperwork for her mayor's candidacy on Wednesday.
I am going to file my paperwork tomorrow to run for mayor of Lynn Haven. And I feel very strongly about it. I feel that it's time for the city to go back to the people. I feel that they have a say. I feel we have a lot of residents that have a lot to say, and they're not comfortable saying it right now.
As of right now, Tinder will be running against Ellen Fields and incumbent Jesse Nelson. Tinder says she's not worried about the other candidates.
Number one, I have longevity. Number two, I have honesty. Number three, I have the people at heart. They really are the number one objective. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to gain, except just doing the job for the people.
In Lynn Haven, Alex Schley, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
The Lynn Haven elections take place on April 18th.
All right. How about that? That's big news, isn't it? I'm not good at guessing who's going to win an election. I'm usually wrong. But I think that Tinder would be the favorite. She's won 2 elections in Lynn Haven. People like her. She's definitely not. However Judy Tinder votes or comments about things, it's coming from Judy Tinder. It's not being fed to her. She is not doing anybody else's bidding. And I really like that in candidates. And I tend to agree with, her points of view. She believes Lynn Haven is spending too much money and so on and so forth. And I've even felt this way about city council members in other municipalities who I have not agreed with their voting. Take Panama City Beach former Vice Mayor Josie Strange, for example. We didn't agree on some of her policies. Most of them we did, but I felt the same way about her. I thought that she was really voting and commenting as was her conviction. And I think we need more of that. Don't you think we need more real people, citizen commissioners, citizen council members? I think we need a lot more of that. So I'm thrilled about it, surprised and happy. We'll see how it all goes. Let's see what you all are saying. There we go. Love it. Oh boy, that's for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got Roy says they left out the nasty remarks about her supporting this. Yeah. Let's see here. I hope so, Rhonda. I sure do. Let's see, Jody here. Strong woman for the past 6 years. Deborah says she's absolutely genuine. And of course, she's always at the wonderful restaurant, Victoria's Last Bite. So people know her. People like her. Wow. Lots of positive comments. Well, this sure shakes up the place a bit. I mean, this really shakes up Bay County a bit. And I do think it's going to be a big news week. I think there's a lot that's going to happen between now and Friday. But I don't know. How many times have I misled you before? Got your hopes up. Oh, boy. All right. Well, anyway, that's about all I have. I just want to thank you. And, of course, I want to thank all of those of you who helped me do this, including the Unknown Patriot. Thank you for your support. And I don't say this enough, but if you haven't yet, you can subscribe to YouTube. This is also on YouTube. I don't have nearly as many followers or subscribers on YouTube as I do here, but I sure would like to change that. And if you'd like to support my efforts, here's one way you can do it. It's like giving a tip as little as $5 a month on Patreon, patreon.com/Pernie Thompson. It's easy and it's anonymous. It's anonymous and you can quit at any time. Patreon.com. That's how you can support my efforts so that I can continue to do this. And the only reason I can do this at all is because I'm not under anybody's thumb. And that's just the way I like it. Thanks for being with me, and I will see you soon.